I'll begin by addressing the big question and say that I don't believe that XDefiant is a Call of Duty killer, but I do believe it has a solid foundation to develop its own identity. In fact, I believe that calling this game a COD killer undermines a lot of what makes XDefiant really unique. But what does XDefiant bring to the table? Let's talk about it. As a first-person shooter, XDefiant succeeds in its gunplay. Weapons feel very balanced and are accompanied by an adequate number of attachments, although I would like to see an addition of more weapon scopes, particularly a 2x scope for rifles. Weapon attachments are also given numeric values, which means no more relying on bar graphs. You will be given statistical values for the attachments you use. The time to kill feels near perfect, where the game rewards consistent and precise shots, as opposed to who shot first. And for this, I truly want to applaud the XDefiant team. In terms of gun audio, some players may find the audible punch of the weapons to be on the weaker side, but I believe this was a design choice to prioritize the ability to hear nearby enemy activity. Overall, XDefiant really knocked it out of the park in terms of its shooting aspects. Second to the gunplay are XDefiant's classes, which are called factions. While I believe that the factions require some tuning and balancing, I really appreciated the simplicity and diversity of the skills that differentiate one faction from another. I do want to address my biggest complaint, which is the ultimate ability. During my time playing, there were a number of matches that I did not obtain a single ultimate, as opposed to my friends who would get up to 2 to 3 ultimates a game. During these games, one of us would be primarily focused on kills, while the other was focused on the objective. Now with 4 out of the 5 game modes being objective based, I found it really odd that the game rewarded you more for getting kills than obtaining the objective. I personally found this to be a poor design choice, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Mechanics aside, I really appreciated the visual styles of each character, making it really easy to identify which faction a player belonged to. XDefiant is expected to launch with 14 maps, and I'm genuinely excited for this. The visual characteristics of each map were stunning, as maps were not afraid to be colorful, dark, or bright. They just sought to properly represent the character of the franchises they came from. I did feel as though the maps could use some additional or dynamic spawn points, as spawn camping was rampant in modes such as Domination, but overall, I really enjoyed the numerous lanes, cover, and verticality each map had to offer. I am really happy with how XDefiant is building itself. I really appreciate the game launching as a free-to-play title, allowing many players to try the game with little pressure, along with a strong social media presence that is willing to hear the community's many voices. I did face a few network and matchmaking issues during my time with the beta, but I was really surprised to see how quick and transparent the XDefiant team was to address the problems rather than hide from them. Now, I do have some questions and concerns with the future of the game, particularly with the factions, as they are what makes this game unique. How are you planning to deal with the limited amount of franchises in Ubisoft's catalog? With The Division, Far Cry, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, and Watch Dogs in use, I can only imagine the addition of For Honor, Assassin's Creed, Raving Rabbids, or Rainbow Six Siege to the roster. And some of these games don't really fit the sci-fi mil-sim theme XDefiant is trying to pursue. I would also hate for the factions to recycle visual themes, as the existing faction models really stand out from one another. With some factions also seeming overpowered, I'm concerned with the upcoming factions creating a power creep. My personal experience with games such as Apex Legends and Overwatch were often met with problems trying to balance an ever-growing roster. I'm sure the XDefiant team can work to resolve this, but I do not want to see the pressure of releasing new factions seasonally take priority over game balance. So what do I think about XDefiant? Well, I love it. The game deceivingly looks simple, but rewards mastery and understanding of the set of tools that are provided to the player. It definitely is not a COD killer, and I'm glad that players are starting to understand that. But as a unique blend of an arcade and hero shooter, I believe that XDefiant has a strong start in creating a successful franchise. I look forward to playing the full release, and I hope to see you there too.